From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
City commissioners are considering banning certain types of Airbnb-style rentals in Boseman. I'm Jolie Slee, and I'll tell you what this ban entails. Whether it will free up housing for residents, though, looks to be heavily debated at the city's next commission meeting.
I'm Megan Thompson here in Uptown Butte, and coming right up, I'm going to talk with officials from Butte-Silver County and Northwestern Energy about problems with the streetlights and how you can report issues.
And overcoming the odds. These little hound dogs are looking for their forever families. You won't want to miss this little puppy story in about 10 minutes, I would say. Alrighty, it is 6:31 on this Tuesday edition of Montana This Morning. Jane McDonald and Matt Elwell with you. It was a beautiful day yesterday, Matt. I took a walk downtown, had the dog out. It was great.
Yeah,
not too much wind.
And today the temperatures will cool down a little bit. But our biggest problem is going to be the wind, what you just said. Looks like 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts very possible at times for the day across southwest Montana. That means some higher wind speeds expected as well. 40s and 50s for most of the area this morning. We did have a little tuft of moisture work its way across the area early this morning. Really didn't amount to much. You can see the winds already starting to pick up on campus this morning. Daytime highs near the 60-degree mark. Again, very strong winds for today. Maybe some frost tonight, and then we'll start to warm things up by the end of the week. I'll talk more about that, of course, in our main weather segment in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Matt. Now, our top story this half hour, Boseman commissioners are considering banning certain Airbnb-style rentals. MTN's Jolie Slee found out what this ban means, whether it will free up some more housing for residents, and, well, looks like it'll be heavily debated.
We don't want Montana to turn into Big Sky. We want to house the people, and we want to house the ordinary working people who make the city run.
Jackson Sledge with the Boseman Tenants United is browsing through a proposed ordinance that he says could bring a huge victory for people in Boseman struggling to afford to live in the place where they work.
In the first time in Boseman history, we have hundreds of people, our own neighbors, who are being forced to camp on the street.
Meanwhile, more than 5% of the city's overall housing supply is being used for vacation rentals or short-term rentals. This heat map provided by the city shows these rentals take up a pretty big chunk out of the east side of town, and there are currently 306 active short-term rentals in Boseman. City commissioners will be voting October 17th on the proposed ordinance Sledge is holding here that would ban a specific category of these short-term rentals. Type 3 short-term rentals to be exact, units where the owner doesn't live on site at all. And out of the 306 active short-term rentals, 74 of them are Type 3. These tourist homes take up 10% of the lodging bed base in Boseman, according to the city.
It's just not a huge amount.
Macola Roach is a Boseman realtor who doesn't think banning short-term rentals will solve the housing crisis.
I think it's an aggressive step that I think is a bit of an overreach, and I don't think it's fair to private property rights.
The ordinance would also create special requirements on so-called Type 2 rentals, where the owner lives on site.
Going after STRs is necessarily going to solve our problem. I think it's going to be a collaborative effort with organizations and banks and lenders and everybody to try and fix this.
But still, Jackson Sledge and the rest of the Boseman Tenants United believe banning these types of rentals is a step in the right direction.
We're glad that the city is taking action on it. We're just looking forward to a yes vote on the 17th.
In Boseman, Jolie Slee, MTN News.
Thank you very much, Jolie. Now we're following up on a story about streetlights that are not working in the mining city. Butte Chief Executive J.P. Gallagher says a link has been added to the county's website to make it easier for people to report lights that aren't working correctly. MTN's Megan Thompson has this story.
Well, problems with streetlights have been a big concern here in Butte lately, and officials with Butte-Silver County have made it a little bit easier to get in touch with Northwestern Energy by adding a link to their website when they see issues with streetlights, like the one here behind me that's on during the daylight hours.
We work with Northwestern Energy. We don't maintain the lights ourselves in Butte-Silver Bow, but we want to be a connecting point for that. So when our residents have a concern, they can go right to our website. We can connect it with Northwestern Energy and address the issues that we have.
Northwestern Energy says they make repairs to the lights that they own, and if they do not own the lights, they pass on the information to other entities.
If you notice a street light is burnt out, or if a street light is on during the day light hours, we appreciate reports of that. And once that report is received, we absolutely will make the repair as soon as possible.
We pay for these lights through our special improvement district, the SIDs that are on our tax bill.
Jim Fay says his SID for last year's tax bill for the light on Cobbin Street was around $53, and he says he's happy to pay for the light if it's working.
It's public safety, really. I mean, the lights are a safety feature.
Jim says he has had things stolen and he worries about pedestrians, and he claims he's made reports in the past about the lights along his street that are off.
It's just a disregard for public safety, and the lights kind of shine a light on that, but without the light, how are you going to see a person walking across the street, or a dog, or an elderly person?
In Butte, Megan Thompson, MTN News.
Thank you very much, Megan. Now on the national scene, between attacks in Israel and an invasion in Ukraine, you may be wondering what's going on with the world right now. And for some, it's the belief that a changing world order may be happening, one in which the United States doesn't sit alone at the top. Our Joe St. George takes a look at the concept of multipolarity and why you'll want to learn a term once only used by college professors.
Well, there is a lot happening in the world right now. Over the last few days, the world has watched in horror at the loss of life in Israel and the loss of life throughout the region. The world is continuing to watch the unfolding events in the country of Ukraine. And while it may be easy to treat these events as separate instances and not being connected, some international experts believe something known as multipolarity may be to blame. And if you don't know what multipolarity in international affairs means, all you need to know is that it's the academic concept that the United States is no longer the lone world superpower, or at least not as dominant as before. China has grown in influence in recent years. So has India. Saudi Arabia continues to assert itself in policy and in sports. Even Australia, on paper, has a stronger military presence than before. Russia's President Vladimir Putin said last year a multipolar system of international relations is now being formed. It's an irreversible process, and it's happening before our eyes. So what does a multipolar world have to do with Israel or Ukraine? Well, some international experts believe that the concept or appearance of a changing world order may cause some organizations and countries to take more risks, like Hamas attacking Israel or Russia invading Ukraine. In fact, the global affairs pundit Noah Smith wrote over the last few days on his Substack, quote, "A fully multipolar world has emerged, and people are belatedly realizing that multipolarity involves quite a bit of chaos." Of course, while we may be witnessing a bit of world power changing, it's clear the White House still wants to be the global leader. In recent years, President Biden sold submarines to Australia to help them have a stronger military presence to combat China. President Biden committed to helping Japan have a stronger military too, and he gave a rare state dinner to the Prime Minister of India earlier this year. How the White House navigates Israel's war, which is expected to last a while simultaneously promising to help Ukraine's fight against Russia, will further test the world order in 2023 and 2024. The White House's John Kirby cautioned to Scripps News this week that it's still too early to try and connect too many dots.
I think it's too soon to try to draw trends here. So there are two different situations. I think it's a little too soon to draw any through lines here on each of them. The United States is going to continue to support Israel, and we're going to continue to support Ukraine.
Joe St. George, Scripps News, Washington.
Now back in some Treasure State headlines. A month after receiving 11 hound dogs, Stafford Animal Shelter in Livingston is hoping to adopt out the remaining 5 dogs in their care. Having overcome illness and receiving socialization from staff, these pups are looking for their forever homes. MTN's Heaven Van
On September 20th, Stafford Animal Shelter in Livingston, Montana received a rare surprise. 11 hound dogs, 7 puppies and 4 adults, 5 of which are still awaiting adoption. Stafford Executive Director Lauren Smith gives us a look at what their arrival to the shelter was like.
11 dogs were brought to Stafford Animal Shelter on September 20th. from someone local in the area. We place these dogs in what we would call our isolation. So we have a barn.
After isolating and examining the animals, Stafford vets found that all 7 puppies were suffering with worms and a difficult but preventable virus called parvo.
So if the animals are vaccinated appropriately and receive the amount of dosage they are supposed to receive, this can avoid and prevent them from getting the virus.
The adult hounds lacked socialization in their last home. Animal shelter staff hope they find owners willing to work to gain the animals' trust.
Young adults and mom, Deanna, Beverly, and Luxwana, are very fearful and shy, and so they would do best in a mature household, a quiet home, a home with a fenced yard. They are not used to a home setting at all.
Stafford Animal Shelter recognizes the overpopulation of animals in the community and makes recommendations that pet owners can do to help.
If you own an animal, you want to spay and neuter them so you don't have unwanted or unplanned for litters. And then to be able to keep them healthy, you want to be able to vaccinate them and provide them the appropriate vaccinations they need.
Hi. She's definitely not as timid as Beverly. Beverly's the red collar.
If you're interested in adopting one of the hounds here at Stafford, we're open Wednesday through Sunday, noon to 5 p.m.
In Livingston, Heaven Van, MTN News.
Thank you very much, Heaven, for bringing that story to us. Now, we're going to take a short break here on Montana this morning, but when we come back, we're going to be talking about a woman, Dorothy Hoffner, a woman that lived each and every day to the fullest. And at 104 years old, Dorothy passed away in her sleep. And now her family and friends are working to make sure Dorothy's memory lives on through the lives that she's touched and her incredible achievements.